Is that not better? And you don't have sound on here? Okay. What is going on? It's probably the heat. Okay, so is that where you want the chat? And I don't know if I have chat on Facebook and YouTube. You're on YouTube, right? S- Make it skinnier. If I try to make it skinnier, it makes the whole box smaller. Yeah, I can't read it then. Well, I can't read it anyway, so that doesn't matter. Can you guys read it? What about that? How's that? Hold on just a second. Okay, guys, we're setting up real quick. Hang out with us for a minute. Maybe you'll learn something technical here. Let's see. Okay. 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 But the chat, I'm going to send you a picture, Seth, because I can see the in-stream chat box. If somebody out there on Facebook is on, send me anything. Post hi, anything, so I can see if that's working. Okay, but look, Seth, I'm not seeing what I normally see. I'm going to send you a picture. Uh-huh. Okay. Oh, Marie's there. Thank you, Marie. Okay. I just sent you a picture of what I'm seeing with the chat. I can see it from what we set up, but the actual restream chat box, it's just circling. Oh, there's Casey or Maggie one. Hi, sweetie. It has been. This is the first time it's ever done it, and I took the dock out and brought it back up, and it's still just circling. Okay, but okay, I understand. Okay, I'm trying to let me see. I'm trying to get this one like that, but I can't seem to get it the same way. I don't know why. But I'll be in this other box most of the time, so we're good. Okay, we'll work on it later. Love you. And that's how it works in the Ware Parsons household. Okay, so far we've got Angie Stevenson, Melissa Hall, Marie is on either Casey or Maggie. I don't know which. Tell me who. Karen Bush and Pepper Dinsmore. All right, and where are my drawing slips? So today is the day we finish this lovely sampler quilt. And if you're just joining us, just tuning in, my hands are getting me off. um, if you're just joining in, shut up, Karen. um, We have been working on this. We have done 12 quilt blocks, and we are going to be squaring them up today. I'm going to show you how to square them up when you have points that you need to square, and sewing our blocks together and adding the borders to the quilt. So this is going to be a great day. Is anybody keeping up with Ro Kelsey on Facebook? So, if you guys don't know, Kelsey is the first woman to ever row across the Pacific Ocean alone from California to Hawaii. She is on day 42, and I've been so excited about this. She does updates every day. She's in a little tiny boat in the middle of the huge, huge ocean, all alone with no help from anyone. And it has just been amazing to watch her progress. She is due to be in, I think, between 5 and 7:30 our time in the morning. So I'm so excited about that. Okay, so you can peek in anytime you want and come do a quilt with us. She did not make it yet, Karen. I'm so excited. And we are on the finish line of our quilt, except Karen Bush had to be Karen and I think Pepper had to be the first ones to get their quilt done. So they beat us. They went ahead and beat us, but that's okay. We'll forgive you. But I just want to, before we get started, send a thank you out to everybody that has participated in this. We have a girl from Australia participating. Um, Somebody from England is participating. So I've been so excited about this. A lot of newcomers, a lot of more experienced quilters. See, I'm not saying older because none of us are old, right? So it has been such a wonderful thing to have people from all over the world joining in and doing this along with us. So thank you, all of you. And we have a special drawing tonight. I'm going to move that ruler, it keeps getting the glare. But we are having the last drawing tonight for everybody that has been going to the community page on our Facebook and putting pictures of their quilts. They are beautiful. And who is the Fenton Ghost? Whoever the Fenton Ghost is, I love your material. That is so beautiful. I just saw your pictures a little bit ago. Wonderful job. So we are going to have a drawing first and see who is going to win tonight. It is Sandy Wilmoth. Sandy Wilmoth. And what did Sandy win? Sandy, for participating in these 13 weeks of fun and fellowship, you get a $50 gift card from Living the Dream Quilt Shop. So that will be, as a matter of fact, I have a package for you, Sandy. I will put this in your package and you can get that. And congratulations to everybody because you're all going to get your quilts done. And that is an amazing feat, and they are all so beautiful. But the first thing we want to do, I'm going to flip through all 12 of these. If you haven't been with us before, or if you tuned in on block 3, block 8, you can always go back to the YouTube channel. And right now, you can go to the lives and you can get every one of the blocks of the week. Follow along with us. Sorry. And um, or Seth is now turning each of those weeks into tutorials. I think we're up to block 2, right, Seth? And you can actually go to the videos and see actual tutorial video of it. So he is getting all of those on, releasing them a little bit at a time. So you can do it either way. All of this is totally free. The blocks, I tell you, in each of the weeks where I found them online, totally free. There are hundreds of quilt blocks out there. You don't have to go buy a pattern that you can find online free if you don't have a lot of money to spend, if you're just looking for something fun to use up your stash. And as you can see, they make beautiful quilts. And now, for all of my beginners out there, Seth said block 3 will be out on Thursday on the regular videos. For all of my beginners out there, now I hope that you feel more confident and you see that even the harder looking blocks you can do too. It doesn't take a whole lot. It just takes patience time and learning. That is it. So we will be doing more. I'm going to start another one in August. And if you guys would like to get in, we've already picked out a few of the blocks. If you guys want to get in on a block that you've always wanted to do, send that in so we can try to get that in our sampler blocks. And I will try to make it happen as long as it's a free block. Um, I don't want to use patterns because then people would have to purchase this, and I want to make it so everybody learns and everybody can afford to do it. So, but if you have a block that takes a pattern, we can always do a class. So, send that in and we can do classes. All right, so I'm going to flip through these real quick. This was the twin star. Love this pattern. It was a really nice one. Here is, I believe this one is, I can't remember if that's Clay Star or Crystal's Choice. Karen, do you remember anybody remember what the name of this one is? I think that one's Clay's Choice. This one was our mystery block. Um, yeah, I think this one was actually going to be Crystal Star, but I decided to change that up and make something totally different. Everybody turned their blocks different ways and made different designs, and I loved seeing the different designs online. No, this one's Crystal Star. There we go. That's Crystal Star. Then we have Alaskan Homestead. Road to California. Remember, people that were beginners were afraid of this one. You guys did tremendous. I think Sandy had these two blocks switched around at the end, but I think she got that straightened out. This one is Shoe Fly, or yeah, I think that one's called Shoe Fly, right? Am I right? Or I can't remember the other name for that one. I'm getting forgetful. I think it's the heat. This one was the rail rail fence. Then we had Foursquare. Our first block was just a basic 9 patch. And then this one was 9 patch with a twist. And last but not least, you guys thought you couldn't do it. I saw the pictures. I absolutely love them. And Jean, you did great. You did great. So I'm so proud of all of you guys for completing these. I loved seeing all. And if you haven't looked, go on to the community page under, or the YouTube page under community and look at all the pictures. They are so beautiful. And it's really nice to see one pattern with everybody's different take from their fabric. It's wonderful. So what I'm going to do first, let's get started tonight. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to spray mine down a little bit with my best press and iron each one so they are, or press each one so they are nice and flat. Don't pull with your iron, just press. You don't want to push down real hard. You just want to get the wrinkles out. And I know sometimes I iron instead of just pressing, but I don't pull it. I promise I don't pull it. You don't want them wonky. All right. So is there anybody quilting along with me tonight? Or is everybody, let me know where you're at with the blocks. There's Jessica Pierce from Summers County. Welcome in, Jessica. Jessica, have you been quilting along with us or are you just dropping in? If you're just joining us, make sure you look for us on YouTube. We've got all the videos from all 12 weeks. And then this is week 13 where we're putting all these together. And are you a beginning quilter, Jessica, or have you been quilting for a while? And I got to send out an apology to you guys. I started late tonight. I walked out in the quilt shop with the air on, it was already sweltering, and nobody can hear me with the air conditioner running. So I had to turn that air conditioning up a little and cool it down in here so I didn't melt in front of you. I did not want that to happen. Sue Henderson, if you're on here and you see me pressing or ironing, I'm sorry. Sue will kick my butt. She called me today and made a chocolate cake. I got to stop over there and get some of her chocolate cake. Oh, well, anytime, Jessica. Jessica, yeah, go back and watch the videos anytime you get a chance. These blocks are beautiful, and it's a great beginner course. Totally free. And we'll be starting another one in August. And the reason you want to get these pressed before you get started putting your blocks together, when you've got wrinkles and stuff, when you're sewing, that can make your quilt wonky. I used to hate the iron, but now it's actually a little bit relaxing. And I love seeing my blocks nice and neat. They're not as nice and neat as Dottie Dillon's, but they come kind of close. And if you guys want to see what I'm talking about, let me show you real quick. I'm going to brag on Dottie. So you guys can see the back of mine. I've got some that are flipped over a little bit, some that are kind of sideways. Pretty much they're nice and flat, but so Dottie was the very first customer in my shop, as a matter of fact, and now she's one of my best friends. She did this beautiful quilt. I love this. Actually, not a quilt, it's more like a wall hanging, but I want you to see the back. Look at this. When you get to this, you're really good. I love Dottie's quilts. It's just perfection. Mine are not that perfect. I try hard. And that's all we can do, right? I try hard and I have fun with it. So, I see Karen's keeping up with, I see Karen's keeping up with Roe Kelsey. Karen, did you see where she had the bird on the boat? That was, oh, I love that. Just had a bird kind of hanging out with her that didn't want to float in the ocean anymore. And I don't blame him. I'd have been scared to death. To see her get off that boat to clean the barnacles off in the middle of the ocean with nobody anywhere around. I mean, I was just waiting for a shark to take her legs. Oh, and then the nights that it stormed, and she had, at one point, she had 12 or 14-foot waves. Crazy, crazy in that little boat. So, I love seeing women do amazing things. Sorry, Seth, I know you guys think you're good, but to know that she is beating not only the women's record, but the men's record too. I love it. And almost half the time too. That is what is just amazing. Okay, I just gotta, oh, I've only got two more to go. Two more to go and we can start squaring up. And I know a lot of people didn't like math in school. I'm one of those ones that was crazy about math. It was the English part that got to me. But it's really not hard, even if you're not good at math, to square your quilt blocks up. You just want to kind of keep them within a range on your ruler. So now I have this 12.5 inch square up ruler, and we have 12.5 inch squares, I hope. Now, I know some of you said that your squares are smaller than 12, and mine, I'm going to have to stand up while I do this. If you're sitting down, you can't see over this side. I can see it from the camera. I can't see it from where I'm sitting. So, let me see. Let me stand up over here, and now I can see, like, on this edge and this edge, and I wish I could zoom in on that. I have just like not even a 1/16 of an inch off right there. I'm not going to worry about that. My 1/4 inch, I can nudge that and take care of it. But I just want to take off anything that is sticking out over the edge. And your ruler should be falling in to 4 for your, if you have 3 squares going across, if that's the square you're working on, it should be falling in at like 4 inches on the first square over, 8, and then 12. Now, oh, but we've got that 1/2 inch in. That's why it's not perfect. Okay. So, no, that's a lie. It's going to fall in a little bit shorter. But what you need to do is make sure that your block is inside that square and trim off the edges. This one, yeah, I do. I've got corners. I don't know how well you can see those. This one you can see. Okay. So right here is one of my sides where I have a point that I want to meet when I do the block. So I want to make sure that any of my half square triangles coming up, that I've got about a 1/4 of an inch there. If this side is a little bit short, and I pull it over and take that up, I'm not going to get that point. So you want to, well, you want to try to make sure that you are getting your points in there. And let me see if I can. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to make sure that my 1/4 inch, let me pull this down. There we go. You guys can see this orange here. I need a 1/4 of an inch right here. Now, my problem is, and this happens to me every once in a while, there is actually another 1/8 of an inch up above that. But if I go down here to the bottom, if I put this, oh, if I put this right at the little 1/4 of an inch mark here, when I go to the bottom, I've almost lost a 1/4 of an inch. It's too far back. So I am going to have to cut that there. Which means that one of my blocks is not going to be perfect. But it's okay. It's my block. So we are not going to worry about that little 1/8 of an inch there. We will try to make up for it when we do the, when we sew the other one on, but it's still not going to meet because I see that's too big of a gap and it's not going to meet that 1/4 of an inch, but I'm not going to worry about that. And if you're a beginner, you should not be worried about it anyway. You have just made beautiful quilt blocks. All right, so on this one, and I am right on that. I don't have anything to cut off. In fact, I'm a little bit short up here. I'm like an 1/8 of an inch short. Now, what you can do if your blocks are short, you could cut it down so they're all the same. Like if you have blocks that are 12.5 inches and blocks that are 12, you could cut them down to 12, but what you're going to miss out on is your points, because you're not going to meet those points with that coming down like that. When you cut it down to 12, and then when you sew your 1/4 of an inch, your point isn't going to meet. You're going to have a gap there. But I'm going to have to fudge a little bit on this one because I'm a little bit short on that. So I have nothing to square up on that one. Let's see. This one might be a little bit over. Yeah. Okay, so on this one, I don't have any point. Well, yes, I do. I've got these points right here to worry about. So let's see. There's a 1/4 of an inch. And I'm a little bit short there, so I need to go that way. You want to make sure your quilt is showing all the way around. And I just have a little bit hanging out on those two sides, a little bit here. Okay. And that one's squared. I think I just lost my other two. And if anybody has any... Oh, yeah, I did see the Coast Guard singer Happy Birthday. I loved it. Or wasn't it the Navy? Was it the Navy or the Coast Guard? I know they both went by her. Seth, have you been keeping up with her at all? Alright, now I've got a little... Oh. Let's see. I almost cut that and went right through that square. Let me see if I can move it the other way. And... you should barely have anything extra if you've been following the instructions with me. I'm just cutting off little nibs here. And if you're finding that your blocks are short of the 12.5, you need to really watch your 1/4 inch seam, because that 1/4 inch seam is so important. If you go a little bit wide, you're taking up the room for your points. And as you can see, like on this part, my points are right at a 1/4 of an inch. But down here, this one's going to be a little bit of a problem for me, because it's like 1/8 of an inch that I have to meet that point. So, and if anybody has any suggestions, if any of our more experienced quilters, Karen Bush, has any suggestions for people starting out, how to meet those points, how to make it work, let us know. I know Sandy, I don't know, Sandy, I don't think's on here tonight, are you, Sandy? But she was having trouble getting her squares to come out right, and I think it's her 1/4 inches off. And you can always just put a piece of fabric in your machine, run it through at a 1/4 of an inch, and then measure that with a ruler and make sure that it's coming out at a 1/4 of an inch. Or you can measure your seams like this, and it should be right on that 1/4 inch line. And if it's not, you need to adjust your tape, or whatever, or your maybe your machine might adjust the needle over. And I am looking at all of my points on here. That's a 1/4 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. I'm a little bit short on this one. Let's see, drop that just a little. I'm a little short on that one, and I've got a 1/4 inch on that one. But if I bring this over anymore, I'm going to lose the 1/4 inch on this side, so. So that is how you see all these quilts with these points, these perfect points. It is basically making sure you've got that 1/4 inch down on your machine when you're quilting. And here I've got the points 2 on each side. So let me see, there's a 1/4 inch on the top. I've got a 1/4 inch on that one, but this one is a little bit short. Need to come this way a little. And come this way. Let's see. The sad thing is, if you're off on one, it kind of sets you off on the others. Okay. Oh, that's going to make me too short there. All right, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. That's a little bit more than a 1/4 inch. Let's see, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. A little bit more than a 1/4 inch. That's about a 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch, and that's a little bit short of a 1/4 inch. This square's a little bit wonky. I've got a little bit more to take off of this one, so I don't know what went wrong. Anybody else having problems with their blocks? Yes, lots of pins. Absolutely, Karen. Good idea. Pin the heck out of it so you, when you're sewing your piece, when you're piecing, you don't move that fabric. That was a good one, Karen. And I've got just a couple more to go. Phew, and I can already feel myself starting to melt in here. It is getting warm. If I start melting, you guys, somebody come over. Marie, come down, throw ice water on me. Oh, there's Tris Fisher. Hey, Tris. Glad you're here. Make sure you watch us later. And have fun with that grandbaby. Seth is on his way to 3 of my grandchildren. I wish I had my grandchildren this weekend. That would be amazing. But Seth's taking the girls to Dollywood, so I wouldn't take them away from that for all the world. They get to spend the week with their dad. And I know Tony's excited to get Seth home for a little bit. I think she's got a yard for him to mow in this heat. Aw, they're at the fun ages, Tris. I love those ages. Maybe not the terrible 2s, but the 6-year-olds at the fun age. And this one is perfect. I must have already squared that one. That one's perfect all the way around. Maybe the first couple did. No, I know I didn't square this one. I can see a piece hanging. All right, let's see. And we made this one a little bit bigger because people were having trouble squaring. So I changed the dimensions, I think, by another 1/4 inch, and you can see it here. And I need to put some, well, I guess it doesn't matter. I've only got 2 more blocks to go, but I'm going to get this out anyway and show you guys. My ruler is moving just a little bit. Let's see, do I have any more? Oh no, where did they move it? Well, I had some great spray that would keep your ruler from moving, but it seems to have disappeared. The girls cleaned my shop and I don't know where anything went. Doggone it. But I do have a spray that I will show you guys later on, maybe on the next course, that is great for, you spray it on the back of your ruler. I just moved that a little bit. And it will keep your ruler from moving easy on your fabric. And it is a true game changer, so you don't slide and take something off you didn't mean to take off. Melissa Hall, you have a great one, honey. Thank you. Where are you going to watch fireworks at? I didn't know there was any tonight. All right, we got a lot of points on this square. Let's see. Quarter. I'm over a quarter on that one, but a quarter on that one. Quarter. And not on that one. Let's see, do I need... Oh, wait. Okay, quarter. There we go. Okay, this one I was thinking was short, but when I just adjusted that, they're both right on now. I'm a little bit short on this side. It's like my block is a little wonky. Okay, so cut that off, and that little bit off. Oh, and cut these strings. I hate the strings. I don't know why my fabric's wanting to stick to this mat. It must be hot too. Okay, so I have squared up all 12 of mine. Bridgeport, well, I'll be listening out for him, Melissa. Have a great time. And for our border, here's my focal fabric that I used for the border. The inside dimensions of our quilt is going to be around 36 by 48. Hang on just a second. This is Becci. How are you? Pretty good. Yes. Thank you so much. 9777. Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Have a great one. Thank you. Woo, a cold drink. I just got dinner delivered. I will eat the dinner later, but I'm definitely going to enjoy this cold drink right now. Dottie Dillon, it's from the Parquet. I got spaghetti and meatballs from the Parquet. I'm not going to eat in front of you guys. I just need my straw for a nice cold drink. Sorry, you guys. Just give me a second to get this bag open. Aha. There's my straw. Okay. All right, so I was talking about the borders. I did 6-inch borders. And like I told you, with the blocks put together, it's going to be like 36 by 48. So I got 5 strips of 6 inches with the fabric. So we could do the borders, and I think that's going to be plenty. But first we need to put our blocks together, right? Now, you can lay your blocks out. I usually lay mine out on the floor and figure out how I'm going to do them. I actually did that before the show. That way, I already had it together and I didn't have to get up and keep leaving the camera. So, I'm going to move my machine over here in place. I can't believe this is the last time. Whoa! Dropped my iron. It is blowing my mind that this just seems to... And we even had weeks off, but I feel like it went so fast. Okay, so what we're going to do... And I've got these in the order that, actually it's upside down now because I ironed. So let me flip through here. Or no, that's the first three. Let me see. Oh, I see what happened. I've got them. The third one over is now the first one over. I got it. Okay. 2, 3, and 1, 2. Okay, got it. All right, so this is actually my bottom row, but that's okay. Okay, so what we are going to do when you get ready to sew these blocks together, normally, if you have done like a whole quilt with just one block, you have the same parts to put together on each side. When you do a sampler quilt that is all different blocks, you have totally different. Like here's a 4, this would have been a 16 patch, and then I've got a 3 patch. So what you need to do is put the two together. Take those pins Karen was talking about and bragging on. And I have, I right here in the middle, I've got one of those points I was telling you about, and I've got another one right here on this side. And then on this side, I have points here and one point there I need to worry about. So that's the first place that I'm going to pin. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to make sure my fabric is aligned because we know it's 12.5 by 12.5. And I'm going to stick that pin in right here where this X is. So you can see this seam coming up through here. You can see this seam coming up through here. And right where that crosses, where that X is, I'm going to put my pin in. That is that point I need to hit in order to have that 1/4 inch seam. And then I need to make sure that my back is about a 1/4 inch down too and straight with the top. Okay, now I'm going to open this part up. The next one I have to meet is right here, and I've actually, well, this one's farther over. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to go a 1/4 inch down. Let me make sure my fabric is straight because I know this is both 12.5 inches and it's straight. So I'm going to come in right there on that one. Or no, I'm sorry, I'm meeting this one over here. I'm going to come in, and you can almost feel where that seam is, where that point is. So let me see if I hit it. Yep, I hit it right square on. And then tuck that pin. And I'm going to do the same thing just an inch over with this last one. And make sure I'm a 1/4 inch down on the back part because the back part doesn't have any seam there. But you want it to match up on top, and I pulled it down a little bit, I think. Okay, so once you get those done, you still want to make sure that both of your fabrics are straight at the top. And now here is the mistake I made as a beginning quilter when I first started out. I would always like, okay, I've got well, is there any sticking out there? Yes. Let me square this side up. I might not have this side squared up, but I think I'll have a lip. No lip on that side. Yeah, okay. So, when I started out quilting, when I was putting my blocks together, I had to start out where this was even, like this, where you couldn't see it on either side, not like this, where there's a little bit over. But this is what I've learned. I want these to meet. Well, that doesn't, so let's see. Tuck on it. Maybe I do have a gap. Hang on. No. Why is that over? If they're both 12. It might be... Oh, okay, I got it. My pen came out and my material shifted. Whew. I was thinking, all right, why isn't this working? Okay, so if you have two different points meeting and you're meeting them up with one pin, sometimes you have to shift your fabric over because your block might not be right on point. And if there's a little bit sticking out on this side, that doesn't matter. You want your point to meet. And I used to make sure this met, and then when I would go across, my points were way off. It is this part you want to work, not this part at the end. So if you have a little bit sticking over after you have pinned two of your points together, don't worry about that, because you will never meet those points if you keep moving this and trying to stretch it and make it work, or you will make your block wonky, and you don't want to do that either. Oh, Seth's gonna watch fireworks in Gatlinburg. Nice, Seth. Is at Dollywood? Are they putting them off at Dollywood? Oh, and I forgot one more thing to show you. Okay, so take a pencil. If you followed me in the other blocks, you'll remember this. Take a pencil and mark a little line right where that pin's going in, because that's where what you need to meet those points. And when you pull the pin out, you don't want to lose where the point is. And it's hard to see sometimes when you're just looking for the seam, or your seam might be on the other side of the fabric, like mine is for this point right here. See how you can't see a seam there? It's on this side. And I don't want to miss my machine going through right where that pin should be to meet that point. Okay, so like I did before, I am up to one of my pins. I've got it marked right there. I'm going to put my fingernail right by that mark, and I'm going to push down. So when I pull the pin out, I don't slide my fabric anywhere. And then I'm going to send that right under the foot, and I'm going to make sure my needle is going right through that black dot I made with my pencil. And then sew on to the next one. And do the same thing. And with the next one. And when I get to that next one, I am going to make sure that my fabric is lined up for the end. Now, a lot of people put a pin in it to do that. I always just make sure it's lined up because it's not that far to go, and I can hold it with my finger. All right, let's open this up and see how we did. Okay, that point is meeting right there. That point is right there. This point is low, but that was the one I told you well, you guys can't see what I'm talking about. This is the point I was sure I was going to mess up on. You can't really tell because of the coloring here, but that point is a fingernail length away. But there was no way I was going to be able to meet that point. So this one worked, and when I hold it up here, can you guys see where my point didn't meet? I didn't think so, so I'm not going to worry about that. All right, now to put the next one on. And we will have our first row done. Okay, so on this one, I have a point right here, and on the back side, I have a point here and a point here. So I'm going to need 3 pins. And I'm not going to worry about the side over here. I just want to make sure that my fabric is straight across the top. And then I'm going to put it in at that X. There's nothing on the back, so push that down. And then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go in here. Push that down. And is that it? No, I missed one right here. I thought I had 3. Okay, so this one is on the back. I'm going to feel for that with my thumb. And I can actually see it through the white there. Let me see. That one is the one that's going to be short. It is like 1/8 of an inch. So I know I'm not going to meet that point right. Okay. And then sew this row together. If anybody has any questions, please ask. If you're new here or if you're not, say hey and let us know you're here. Let us know who's hanging out with us. I didn't mark my pins. That little mark across. I didn't think about fireworks being tonight. I would have scheduled this for Sunday, but people can come back in and watch it later. I'm going to have to start doing these on Wednesday again so we don't have any holiday interruptions, right? Okay, so there. I'm at that point. That point I knew was too short, but it's not bad. And then this point I'm at this. Oh, see, I moved my camera and I'm not used to that. Okay, this point met. Let me lay it down. This point met really well. This one was the one I knew was short. So if you can see, there's a little tiny gap there. And then this one right here met right at the tip. So I'm really happy with those. So there is row 1. And it'll make a beautiful quilt when it's done. So I am happy with that. All right, so I'm starting row 2. Got a lot of points on this one to meet. Karen Bush, you're so lucky you're already done. Move your camera up a bit. Okay, I will. Let's see. Okay. All right, so on this one, my seam is flapped over there. But actually, keep my material straight. I can feel that through the material. So I'm going to try not to flip that over. Let's see. Having some trouble with this one. I don't understand. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to flip that. It's right there. Okay. And you might have to flip that seam over on some of them to get your, so you can see where that seam crosses. Right here. And my phone's going crazy. Right here. Seth, you need to look into background music that I can play during the lives so there's not so much quiet. I just feel like it's too quiet when I'm live. I've seen other people play music and I don't understand how they're getting away with it. We get bombed with Facebook's going to shut us off because we're breaking copyright laws. Well, I'd like to get the copyright so I can play good music. Who knows how to get all the Rolling Stones? All right, mark those points and off we go. And I can move this a little bit closer. I don't know if you can, yeah. With that light, I think it's hard to see it anyway. Hold my fingernail down just where I can see that. My tape's coming up. But I've got a 1/4 inch on my machine, so I'm not going to worry about that tape. Now, if anybody has any questions about seam allowances, squaring up, anything with the quilts that blocks that we have done, make sure to ask me, or you can post it on the page later. Because normally, if one person has a question, there's more than one person with that question. And after you've been quilting for a while, you kind of forget. Some things just become automatic. So when you're quilting, you kind of leave parts out that might be really important for somebody. Yeah, Seth, you need to look into those Zoom sewing alongs. I agree, Karen. I would like to do that. Absolutely. YouTube Studio has an audio. Your Renzi quilt. What's a Renzi quilt? And Seth, I am about to check on setting the microphone so you guys cannot hear the air conditioner, because otherwise your mom's gonna melt in like 3 minutes. I don't know if I'm getting shiny on the screen, but I am about to melt. Let's see. I'm going to go to the mic. Let's see if mommy can do this. I'm going to click on this. Filters. I have no filters, Seth. Let me see. Can I add a filter? Compressor, expander, gain, invert polarity, limiter, noise suppression. Okay. All right. And can you guys still hear me okay? I'm going to go turn this air on real quick and see if you can still hear me. Okay. You guys let me know. Oh, yeah, share the pics. RN noise? Can you guys hear me? Is the air conditioner overtaking me? And let me look for this RN noise. Um, Filters. I don't see RN noise. But you guys let me know. If you guys can't hear me, I'll turn the air back off. I'll die for you guys. I'll just melt right in front of you. You're all worth it. I know. If it wasn't 112 in the shade, it wouldn't be so bad. I went out and mowed today, and oh, it took all the life out of me. Oh. Seems good. Who is the Fenwick Ghost? Who is that? I love your blocks. I vote we really don't care about the AC. Thank you, Karen. I love you. You don't hear it, Seth? Good. Oh, that is wonderful. So, what you're telling me is I've been sitting here melting for about an hour and it didn't matter anyway. I could have had that fixed. That is hilarious. Hilarious. All right, let's see. Here is block 2. Look at that. I love it. And now let me show you because I know people worry to death about stuff like this. So that point is perfect. This one, it is not. It is a little bit off. See, that point doesn't come right to the edge. Now, this is what I keep telling girls all the time. Can you see it? You see that point that's off? No, you don't. Look at that. I am so proud of that. I know there's a point off. I don't care. Look at that. If anybody wants to climb up on my bed that I lay it on or on my couch and look for points, I'm kicking you out of my house. Do not be real concerned. If it's way off, I would rip it out and go back. If I'm going to enter it in a quilt show, I want it to be really good. But if you're doing it for you or for your loved ones and it's just an eighth of an inch or less, it's not that big of a deal. Um, I mean, some people are really anal about it, and I get it. And you go. That is great. You go for it, and we all try to be perfect, but don't do it to the point where you quit quilting because of it. I would hate to see somebody quit quilting because they're worried about an eighth of an inch point that didn't meet. And with practice, I promise you, you get better. I was so not good at this at all when I started. You get better. Practice makes perfect. The saying is true. All right, let's see. Where is this one crossing? Right here. Feel for that. And there we go. Okay, luckily I'm doing the split rails and the shoe fly. So I've only got 2 points to meet going across this one. I'm going to mark those. And that air feels so good coming through here, y'all. Uh-huh. And is there anybody doing this that this is their first quilt they're making? I wanted to ask that. If it is, please post on here that this is your very first quilt. You'll just make my day. And this one's going on this edge, right? This way, yeah. You posted the community? Okay. Oh, it is Jean. Oh, that's cool. I like it, Jean. Your blocks were beautiful. Loved them. All right. So on this one, I have no points to meet. And since it's only 12 and a half inches, I'm going to hold it right here in the middle where those seams come up. And I'm going to just not pin it and sew. Make it a little bit faster for you guys. And we are almost on row 4. Just make sure my fabric's meeting up, my seams are meeting up. There we go. Yeah, Jean, where did you get those materials? Those fabrics were lovely. I love them together. All right, here is row 3. Love the way that's looking. And row 4, our very first blocks, and our very last block we did. Okay, let's put these together. No points in these two because we weren't doing triangles yet. And there is no seams to meet. So I'm just going to sew these without pins and put them together. Make sure my fabric's lined up. When I was a beginning quilter, I pinned everything. I found